My name is Kelly Baldwin-Hyde. I'm with eClay on the Biodiversity and Nature-Based Solutions team. Welcome to our third and final Naturance Innovation Lab. This has been such a pleasure to organize these, and we're really excited. So today is a really special pitch session. So the idea is to have it be really relaxed, friendly, dynamic. We really encourage you to put your thoughts and questions in the chat, and we have such an amazing lineup today. So we have 4 cities. We have Gdansk, the Ruhr region in Germany, Rome and Paris, who will present their NbS projects in need of funding. And then we have an extremely prestigious panel. Thank you so much to all of you for joining. We have the eClay World Secretariat, we have Climate Kick, we have the European Investment Bank, we have Howden Broking, Europe's largest insurance broker. We have London School of Economics and Marsh McLennan. We have the Bankers Without Boundaries, and of course, all of you here in the audience. So I wanted to give our panel a quick introduction, and we will start with the European Secretariat, Natalia Salazar.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, colleagues, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalia Salazar. I'm the head of Innovative Finance. What we do at eClay WWS, the World Secretariat, is to facilitate access to local and regional governments to finance. Regarding my background, I have been working in project design, project structuring, transaction structuring in both a DFI, a development finance institution, and both humanitarian development sectors at the OPEC Fund for International Development and International Committee of the Red Cross. I've been working in fragile conflict-affected states and also in low-income countries and middle-income countries. Happy to be here, and over to you, Kelly.
Thank you so much. Gus from Climate Kick.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kelly, and very excited for today. So I'm part of Climate Kick. Climate Kick might be familiar to most of you. We are in a climate innovation agency doing work across Europe, but also in other regions. And much of our work focuses on place-based transformations. I'm an investment innovation specialist at Climate Kick, and do work around adaptation finance and financing nature-based solutions, and looking at new innovative schemes to make these transformations happen. In much of our work, we try to integrate a system thinking and a systems innovation lens, and I will try to bring in that perspective today as well. And also involved in some more advanced, or we hope advanced, software solutions to help these transformations as well. So excited for today.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for being here. Anna Maria from the European Investment Bank.
Yes. Hi, glad to be here. Nice to be to the third round table or lab. I'm Anna Maria Mitrovica. I'm with the European Investment Bank. I think we worked with most of the cities here in the panel, at least for one investment project. I'm a senior urban advisor within the advisory team of the bank, because besides lending, we offer this part of advisory and technical assistance for our beneficiaries. My focus was at the intersection of nature-based solution, urban regeneration, and sustainable mobility. We do a lot of work that bridges technical preparation with financing strategies in order to ensure that the projects we are supporting are both strong in terms of impact and highly bankable. So that's on my side. Happy to be here and happy to contribute.
Thank you so much. Moving to Maciej from Howden Broking, please.
Hi, I'm an electrician, electrical engineer from my background, and working for insurance since '93, so quite a long time. Currently, I'm responsible for energy transformation office at Howden Broking. And I hope I will be able to advise something on insurance side to the projects.
You will, and I
Awesome.
wanted to make a quick note that Maciej is originally from Gdansk, so that will be fun. Great. Svenja, do you want to go from LSE?
Yeah. Hi, thanks a lot. So I'm Svenja Zaminsky. I'm here representing LSE, London School of Economics, as well as Marsh McLennan. So LSE, we are proud partners of Naturance, working very closely with ICLEI, where we are overseeing the innovation labs, of which this one is one. So yeah, I will be trying to weave in also some of the insights and learnings from previous rounds. And I wanted to thank you on behalf of Naturance for participating in this. It's really great. I'm also joining with my Marsh McLennan hat on. Marsh McLennan is an insurance broker risk advisory firm where I'm the global thought leader on climate. And in that role, I've been working with a lot of cities on climate risk, and nature-based solutions is becoming an increasingly big topic. Also, how we incorporate that into our risk modeling and how we work with insurers on that. So I guess a lot of relevant questions here. And thirdly, just to say, as part of LSE, I'm also working with the Urban Climate Resilience Alliance that comes under the Zurich program. I know ICLEI is also involved, and we are starting a nature-based solution work stream with that alliance. So, you know, there are lots of linkages, and I'm super excited in hearing from you about the great ideas and concepts that are coming out of your cities. And thanks a lot for Kelly for, you know, leading this so efficiently.
Of course. Susanna, do you want to complement that?
Hi, so my name is Susanna. I work with Svenja on Naturance as a research assistant at the LSE. I also worked at Howden UK prior to that, so I hope I'll be able to combine those two experiences and bring some insights both from our previous rounds of innovation labs and from my insurance knowledge.
Great, thank you. Great. Let's go to Bankers Without Boundaries. Delphina, would you like to start?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Delphine. I work at BWB, where my role is as head of institutional clients to mobilize investors into impact projects, including NbS and adaptation projects. I'm also the Climate City Capital Hub Director of the EU Mission Net Zero City Mission Horizon program, working closely with the 92 label cities. And as part of our work, we are focusing on adaptation. And my colleague Heather will speak a little more about that, and NbS projects. The role of the hub is to turn investment plans into concrete projects that can be invested in a neutral way. I've got my background is investment banking. I had previous role at BNP Paribas, Société Générale in project finance, but also capital markets, and I looked in particular into NbS solutions.
Wonderful, thank you. And Heather, you can round out our panel.
Thanks very much. Hi, everyone. I'm Heather Matson. I'm from BWB. I lead our work on nature and biodiversity finance. So within that context, I work with Delphine on the Climate City Capital Hub and Net Zero Cities more broadly, looking at adaptation and nature-based solutions projects, as well as private investor engagement. I'm also the work package lead for the finance and insurance work package in DesirMed, which is another EU-funded project that's looking at the financing of nature-based solutions, well, design and financing of nature-based solutions in the Mediterranean. So this is all very good to be here today. By way of background, I used to work for the Canadian government as well as the International Finance Corporation, and then spent 15 years working in investment banking in London in a variety of roles in global markets before joining BWB almost 3 years ago. Thanks very much.
Okay, round of applause for our great panel. Really excited. Thanks so much for being here. And I'm going to hand it over to you, Monica, from Gdansk. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I'm very happy to be here with you, and thank you for this invitation. And my name is Monika Ankomewini. I represent the city of Gdańsk, which I work for since 2012. I was for a long time connected with many projects, mainly European-based projects, before with the active mobility, and now I switch more into green infrastructure and climate-related projects. And I'm happy to present our case. And so I will just share my screen. Can you see it?
Yep, we can see it in presenter mode. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Just yeah, I was okay. Should be like this. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, great. So our case is about the renaturing or regreening the main just connection between the railway station and the post shipyard areas. And as you can see on this slide, this is not a new idea. We are working on this idea already within Horizon project Climagen. And we work within the local partnership of local NGO and our Technical University of Gdańsk. So on the left side, you can see the scope of the project, which is quite a big area and very important area because it is located in the heart of the city, in the city center, close to the main city, which is the most historical part. But this part is also very popular with the citizens, with tourists, and as I said before, part of this green corridor that you can see is aimed to form a new green and a climate-friendly road from the main railway station to the shipyard area. And we were thinking together with our local partners and the partners from Climagen of the nature-based solution that we can adopt in our way. So from the different solutions, we have chosen mainly the depaving. Depaving we've connected with the retention flower beds. And also land art that would be installed in the pieces of land that cannot be changed for a long time, so can only be occupied in a temporary way. We also plan to introduce art just to make it more vivid, more popular, and more connected with the new European Bauhaus philosophy. So in this case, in this way, following this way, we have analyzed bit by bit every part of this area, of this green belt that you have seen on the previous slide. And we have analyzed where are the conflicts, potential conflicts with the underground infrastructure, what is the nature of the land, who if the city has already the plans towards, who owns the land, and so on and so on. And we have ended up with the numbers of nearly 1,600 meters square of existing green areas. And our target within the Climagen project is to increase of at least 25% the green areas, making a new green areas or renaturing the already existing ones that are in poor shape, for example. And as the funds are limited, we have calculated that within the Climagen funds, we can contribute the change of nearly 800 meters square of the surface that could be removed and regreened within the Heveliusza Street. I will show you on the map on the next occasion which street it is. And the nature-based solution that we considered are depaving the parts of the sidewalks or the streets, especially where the parking zones are, not to completely enable the streets to be used by the cars, but just to limit the parking spaces. And we aim to retain as much as possible of the rainwater by using the plants put in the flower beds, in the retention flower beds. And of course, we will use the native species. We will, if necessary, we will change the soil or help the soil to be remediated. And we plan to transform the existing lawns into perennial plant beds. And sorry, just to mention on the image, you could see our calculation. The little number is the calculation of how many trees we could put, taking into consideration the potential conflicts with the underground infrastructure that is quite dense in this part of the city. So we have started this direction of changing our public spaces in other parts of the city, and as you can see, the results are very promising and are bright even 1 year after putting the retention flower beds. So we continue the depaving of public spaces, not only in this area that I present today, but also in the whole area of the city, and the Gdańsk aims to depave at least 500 meters square per year. So we hope that with this solution we can significantly increase the biologically active surface to increase the biodiversity in our city and promote our native plants to be reintroduced and in a manner that forms a beautiful public spaces too. So going to the numbers and our potential that we have explored already. So as you see on the map, there are some parts already marked as private funds. It means that we have found the partners that will invest into regreening of this part in the of the green belt, and the EU funds. It means that this area we are able to change with the funding from Climagen project. But our ambition is quite big, so we would like to make like a master plan of nature-based solution, regreening, renaturation of this all green belt that you can see on the map. And we have counted that to achieve this result, we would need to depave over 1,200 square meters that we estimate with other prices that that we work with at the moment. So for this aim, we will need 420,000 euros. And for renaturation, which means that, for example, changing just the areas covered by grass with the perennials and or soil remediation and other NbS in this kind. We have much bigger area, which is over 5,500 square meters. And for this reason, we would need approximately 800,000 euros. We have we have this pleasure and this chance to collaborate within the Climate project. I would like to also mention that it just started this year, in the beginning of this year, so we have 4 years to develop this project. And we have partners who are planning and will realize the Living Lab or the lead Living Lab, so we will contribute also. And approaching the local businesses, hotels, shopping centers that are could be interested in this project and maybe in participation. We also thought that the source like a green participatory budget could be a good manner to increase the funds for this project, so the citizens could apply for funding bit by bit of this of the changes in this area. And we are at the very, very beginning stage of the Gdańsk Green Fund, where we count on the local businesses, or maybe not only local, who'd like to finance the green transformation of Gdańsk. And of course, we would do our best to present this project in, I hope, in few years, in few months, with the nice visualization and more specific data, just to promote it and to get the possibility to get the finance for it. So that's
Thank you, Monica.
That's our case.
That's great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. By a show of hands, or if you are, to our panelists, please raise your hands, and I will call on you. We have about 5 minutes to do the feedback here so that we can make sure we get to all the cities. Natalia.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you very much for that presentation. My only 2 questions would be, I mean, have you, because maybe I don't know if you have shown that in the presentation, but have you included contingencies regarding that, you know, the final prices and the final costs? That's one. And the second one, implementation period, because that was also not clear to me. Thank you.
The implementation period, we are obliged with the period of a Climate project, so we have up till 2028 to deliver this 25% of increase. With the others, we have no time limit, so it depends on how we will manage to get the funds for it. We will develop piece by piece the project. And the first question, sorry, I didn't understand the word.
Sure, no, it's okay. As contingency, so if you have included in the total prices or the total costs, so you know this contingency is some cost like 10% or 15% in case of you know some situations that you don't know what's going to happen. So have you included that 10,
No.
15, 20? No,
because
I think in this case, I mean, usually we do include, I mean, for projects, especially NbS. So, I mean, that would be probably my suggestion.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Machai? You're muted. Start over.
Yeah, okay.
Great.
Thank you. Sorry again. I just wanted to say that from the insurance perspective, there is no large problems here. Gdańsk community definitely have their own insurer, and all the small investments will be insured, and probably that one will be also included already in CAEA policy, construction all risk policy, which is needed during the construction, and any liability policy Gdańsk have will also cover the construction period. And afterwards, in case of heavy rain destroying the the new implemented facility will be covered also. So from that perspective, I don't see here that there is any danger for the work being done.
That's great. Super helpful. Svenja?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation. Just one further thought I had was in terms of the beneficiaries of this. I mean, you know, they're obviously you're doing this and the benefits will be quite widespread. I mean, in the area, but I think this is would be an interesting question to what extent have you kind of brought them in, and is there then a way to make sure that they, I mean, thinking through the insurance context, you know, for them, it would be actually quite interesting to include that in their own insurance discussions to show that actually where they are, there are these schemes in place. So it's a little bit like what we would do if there would be like a big traditional flood defense somewhere and you would start hopefully wanting to show that to your insurers. So have you had any conversations with those who are going to benefit?
As I mentioned, we are constructing this project from, I mean, we started in January this year, and we are at this stage to talk with the stakeholders. So I think it's still not this time. I mean, we will implement this topic, but we haven't talked about it yet.
Thank you. Anna Maria, I just saw your message. Do you want to raise your hand? Do you have a comment?
Yeah, just a quick question. I mean, I've seen the value and the scope of the project. Would it be the case for the future, like thinking of phased investment logic in order to boost the area of implementing such solution all over the city? How do you see it in terms of that, or and also in correlation to maybe thinking of showcasing integration with heritage reuse and elements of this sort?
All that you mentioned is included in the philosophy of this project. So we actually treat it a bit like a test for the not maybe for the retention flower beds, because we have already put them in different areas. But this area will be 100% with native species, which is not very popular in Gdańsk, and it will be strongly connected with new European Bauhaus solution, with heritage, with art, and with participatory way to include all these stakeholders. So we hope it will be something that we can transfer to other part of the city or to other cities if they would like to.
That's great. We'll go to Gus and Delfina, and let's make it quick. You got it. Lightning round.
Yeah, I'll try to keep my questions short. A great project and very interesting to hear. What I found interesting is under potential partners where you listed the local businesses, and I'd be curious to hear if those conversations are ongoing already, and if so, what the reactions are, and if not, do you plan to give these businesses a stake and a say in the project as well, or is it just the sponsoring and sort of that they're excited about the transformation of this area? So maybe you can speak a bit more about these local and potential partners for financing.
These partnership will be formed within the Living Labs. So we plan to hold it from after holidays period, just to make the first opening. for the public and for the stakeholders of this project. And we will have nearly 4 years to form a regular partnership that talks about the vision, that discuss how it will change, then discuss also how can we make it all to realize this the whole scope of the project. So we don't think about the partners only from the financial part of view, but also we thought that the transforming of the public spaces that are just in front of them will also influence their businesses, and we hope to get very productive discussions and results from this cooperation.
Right. Thank you. Delphina?
From what you said, I understand you're looking for Euro funding, but also private funders. To what extent you've approached already some potential donors, and have you considered developing some co-benefit framework that could be appealing for them?
Mm-hmm. We are thinking that when the project from in this like the vision of how we will transform this area will be ready, and we count on the end of this year to have a quite a specific vision of how it will or it could look like, then we can start to talk with the potential private partners out of the local partners that could be interested in financing it. And as I said, we are now concentrated on this part that is mainly will be realized within Climate project. But we know that we have big ambitions, and we are not already prepared to have like a nice portfolio we can present to the finances. We are more looking for in which direction we should look at for the future financement of this project. So sorry not to be ready with this, but yeah, it's still in the early stage of development.
That's great. That's, it's just something to keep in mind. I thought these panel questions were outstanding. And you did a great job, Monica, presenting and fielding all the questions. And I hope you have some good content, to strengthen your proposal there. So thank you so much. We're going to move to Germany now and the Ruhr region. Yeah, thanks, Monica. And Hannah, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us today. Us is Olivia and myself, and we'll share the presentation now. Let's see, there it is. So we will take a little bit a different perspective. I loved Monica's presentation though, because she gave so many answers already to our questions. So thank you for that. We will talk about blue-green climate streets, but we see them as an example for a multi-level and reproducible set of nature-based solutions. So we're with the RVR, that is the Ruhr Regional Association, which is an association of 53 cities and municipalities in the Ruhr area in Germany. So we have a little bit of a different scale and a little bit of different questions. In order to start, I would like to give you a little bit of context, a humble context, because the Ruhr area wants to become the greenest industrial region in the world. This is the slogan the region gave itself and put into a green infrastructure strategy in 2024. The strategy then again has 27 objectives. And one of those, I know you can't read it, you're not supposed to, but I could share the link, is how to create blue-green climate streets. And our politicians that usually also decide on which money to spend where, agreed to pilot some projects. So Monica actually gave a pretty lovely presentation about what a blue-green climate street looks like for us. So these projects that we want to pilot are urban streets that have a use for climate change adaptation because they combine different usages. So we are looking for a very multi-coded future street that allows traffic, but also works on urban drainage and green infrastructure, for example. As a regional institution, now we have three main challenges. The first is we do not own the land on which these nature-based solutions are to be implemented. So we are strongly reliant on our municipalities and private persons having being landowners around these streets. Second challenge is that we are servant to 53 municipalities. So if we pilot in one municipality, it somehow needs to be transferable to the 52 other municipalities. So there is a strong need for a common definition. What is a blue-green climate street in the rural area? But also for standardization and maybe blueprints. So we are actually looking for pilots that can be transferred. The third challenge we have is that with these blue-green streets, we cannot only focus on one nature-based solution, but we have to understand it as a green infrastructure network. So we need to focus on areas rather than on a single, let's say, plants or nature-based solution. So we'll give you an introduction into our project scale within the strategy, and this is Olivia's floor.
Thank you very much. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Greenway E. I hope it's not an abstract context to you as it probably seems, but just to let you know, the whole area of the ruhr region, as Hannah said, spans over 53 municipalities and cities, so it's quite a large area, and we have different concepts such as open space concepts to kind of get it in a moderated way and to handle the development of the area better. And as such, the greenways, which are 9 in total, excluding the maybe known, maybe not known Emscher Landscape Park, which is usually known outside of Germany as well. And the one we chose as a first one, as a pilot, is the Greenway E. It spans an area of 75 square kilometers. And what you can see on this page on the right side is one of our plans with all the different layers that are put over each other for this area. What makes it so special is that these are open spaces which are not directly communal, but they are in between the communes. So they're intercommunal, and as such, they are not their own protection class or protection category, but very valuable for us with very, very high significance for the region and very high significance for development. And we as the RVR try to further the development and the protection of these areas in an ongoing co-creative process together with other stakeholders and the 6 municipalities that are part of the Greenway E. And as thus, we have developed certain ideas. It's a whole catalog, to be honest, right now. And one of these ideas is to implement so-called Klimastraßen in German, or climate streets. And as many of you probably know, climate streets are not this one thing, but multi-level, multi-layered implementation of different layers of projects, such as plants, different nature-based solutions that are put together to develop a climate street. And Hannah, can you please turn the page? Thank you. And one already implemented project you can see in the top right corner, it's in Bochum. where a so-called climate street has already been implemented, and the layers of these streets often span not only urban green infrastructure, but also aspects of mobility, of social interaction, energy and resources. And this leads us to our biggest challenge in developing these spaces, because usually there's only funding for certain layers and for several, just for one layer, like planting trees or implementing bikeable streets. And what we need as the region, as the whole region, not only as the RVR, is integrated funding, not only for one layer of the level, but for the one layer of the project, but for the whole project as such, for the whole area, and which is really kind of the biggest challenge right now, which leads us to a certain requisites and key questions that Hannah will talk about now.
So to round it up, we did not bring numbers, but a lot of words. So what we would require is funding that is scalable, multi-level, that allows for a combination of several nature-based solutions within one area. And in order to foster project development, we need both individual solutions, but also reproducible solutions in order, well, to make them all profit from it. So we try to sum up this quite brief pitch into 3 questions. So do you have any idea on how to acquire funding for areas rather than a single nature-based solution? So what we would need is the definition of the street as the project, and not, for example, active mobility plus tree planting plus depavement. So is there any chance to have it all in one? Second question is, who is eligible for which type of funding? Of course, we know that the municipalities have best chances to do so, but for example, we also have like private persons or other owners like companies and such that own facades and green roofs, and we would totally love to give the chance also to them to get funding if they are in this area to get some of the fund. And last, us as a regional association, is there any chance of funding because we are chaperoning the process and trying to create blueprints and knowledge? Or is there, for example, another way to have pass-through structures so that we receive a bunch of money and then we decide on where it goes into which project areas? So that's actually probably 3 questions in one. And the last question is, in case the answer to question 1 is no, and we need several proposals for several nature-based solutions in one area, how do we avoid the semblance of double funding, which is maybe also a question to Monica, because if there is funds for one thing, we have to make sure it's not double funded. So I'll click to this just to say thank you very much, but I'll go back to that slide, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Hannah and Olivia. Super cool project. I love the regional perspective and approach. I open it to our panelists to respond. And Anna Maria, if you still can't raise your hand, just go ahead and speak.
Yeah, still I can't raise my hand, so. I could ask you if you can leave the 3 questions. Might be interesting for all the panelists in order to answer better to the questions anyway. But I think your first question is, I do have a small answer to that, just 1 minute answer, is that I think this is what we want, and this what we mean for the NbS to be bankable. aside from being mature, having the design parameters cost defined, is to have a level of aggregation and to be able to be scalable for being appropriate to design some loan scheme in case you are looking for that, because especially in terms of the of EIB, we are looking for critical mass in terms of the loans we are providing. So I think practically you would need to have a good regional pipeline inventory to understand very well what are the green street projects across municipalities, what are the typologies, the timelines, the cost associated per each area, let's put it like that, and then have a bit of an insight on the business case, on the elements related to the impact. Clearly define the adaptation, the biodiversity elements, the various type of benefits like the urban cooling or flood mitigation, whatever are the benefits in this regard, and maybe try a little bit to document and complement with the targets of the EU climate missions, or maybe the targets in terms of adaptation and sustainability goals, just as a high level idea. I leave the floor for the others as well.
Thank you. Natalia?
No, thank you so much. I actually really like this project. I really like the complexities of it and the way you present it, because so complex, I mean, and so easy, I mean, or so simple the way you present it. My first question would be on the governance side, because I see so many stakeholders involved. So I would like to know if there's already a steering committee, or maybe you are planning to set up, because I think that would be very, very useful to know, I mean, who will be part of that decision-making process, representatives, as I saw from the private sector, the government, civil society. So I think that's the first one. I think on the municipality, something that you mentioned at the beginning, there are 53 municipalities, and how to make sure that one pilot can be replicated in others. What I've seen and what has actually worked in other projects is clustering or making clusters of, for instance, different provinces, or again, in this case, municipalities. So you group this. I mean, what can be possible is group them into, I mean, based on risk level, on geography. I mean, you can categorize and see how you could cluster. So instead of having 53 different models or pilots, you can have, I mean, I don't know, 10 or 20, I'm not sure. That would depend on the reality that probably you know better than I do. And the last one on the funding, I was thinking what also works, and again, I see so many stakeholders, is a fund. So again, I don't know how feasible that would be, but that fund could have blended finance, private sector funds, public ones, grants. So I think that would be useful, and then that could be channeled to the different clusters based on the pilot projects that you want to implement. Thank you.
That's great. So super helpful. And just so you know, we're going to take just one final feedback from Heather, but I want you to know, Hannah and Olivia, we can facilitate additional questions, or if the panel has like Nachfragen, or things like that, we'll make sure that those get to you and we can keep the conversation going. So Heather, go ahead.
Thanks. It's great. Catch that we published a few years ago called a net zero neighborhood funding model that was looking at how do you try to tackle net zero in one sort of confined geographic space, which is effectively what you're looking at here. So I'd agree that the fund structure is an option that could work here. you need to have some sort of cost savings, co-benefit quantification, revenue generation to be able to make a fund structure or some of these types of structures work. But it's worth taking a look at how that financing sort of loop was structured within this piece. It might give you some ideas of how to tackle that, because I think when you try to do something in one space like this, you have some scale benefits that give you more flexibility on what some of the financing could look like than trying to look at each thing individually. But there's some useful, hopefully some useful lessons in that might prove helpful if you haven't come across it before. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, great. Awesome. We have to move on. I'm so sorry. I want to stay longer with, each case, but we're going to go to Valencia now. So Elena, the floor is yours.
Hello, good morning to everybody. My name is Elena Rocher. I work for Valencia Innovation Capital, which is a municipal foundation of Valencia City Council to promote innovation. We act like a city lab, an urban lab, okay? And there I'm in charge of developing health innovation projects. So I'm going to share my presentation. Okay, great. Let's see. Okay. Do you see my screen? Yes, but not in okay, not in presentation mode.
Correct.
Okay, wait. Now in presentation mode.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay,
Looks
then.
Great.
Okay. Okay, so I mean, what I'm going to present, the project, the proposal I'm going to present is a little bit different. It's much more concrete and specific than the two previous ones. Okay, so this is part. This is one of the NbS interventions that we have planned for an area, a specific part of a district in the city of Valencia that is called San Marcelino. And this will be kind of like a part of climate adaptation and urban innovation strategies. Okay, so San Marcelino is a vulnerable neighborhood of our city. It has some socioeconomic and health parameters under the average of the city. This part, the part where the NbS is going to be located, it's like in the boundaries, the southwest of the city. Okay, it's quite close to one of the neighborhood that has been affected by the Dana or last 29th of October. So well, it is and it is also inside this district, this part of San Marcelino lacks of green spaces, shadows, and so on. You will see some pictures now. So we think that this is a good area to try to pilot an intervention such as that one, okay? And also this is a district where many of the households, there is a high percentage of households in energy poverty, okay? So this is, as I was saying, this is part of a more ambitious pilot intervention in the city. But what we want to do there is to develop and implement a local demonstrator on climate to promote the climate resilience in the district, but also climate resilience and mental health resilience and well-being of the vulnerable groups in this living in this neighborhood. Okay, and we also want that this becomes as well measurable strategy and a scalable intervention to what we learn implementing this, want to learn from this and to replicate and scale it up to other parts of other districts and other buildings of the city. Okay, so what we want to do this intervention also using co-design to design how it is going to be designed and implemented, okay, to improve the thermal comfort and social, also using this co-design process for social activation and community strengthened within within this vulnerable area. The pilot is based on 4 nature-based solutions, but I'm going to present one, which was what Kelly told me that wanted to present me. By the way, thanks for inviting me to this very interesting webinar. Okay, I'm learning a lot. And so we want to use also this intervention for community empowerment and participatory engagement. The original plan has 4 interventions. We're going to focus on the first, semi-intensive green roof with solar panels on one of the municipal social service center on the city, on the municipal social service center that there is in this vulnerable area. We also want to do in the same building a vertical garden. And also there is a playground immediately next to the municipal social service center. So we would like also to renature it and to create shadows. And also in the street that is where the pavement and the street where the municipal social services center is located. I mean, it's like there are not many trees, no shadows. So we would like to do some changes there. But what I'm going to present is the first one, the semi-intensive green roof. This is where the intervention is going to be located. If you see in the last one, okay, in the left corner, the one with the green circle, okay, this is where the area we want to act. You see the city ends there. Partially ends there, okay? And if you see the second picture shows what is, there is a project on the big green corridor, okay? But now it's being revisited with the current municipal government, okay? It's being revisited and like adapting to new criteria, okay? But this will be like, will be linked to this future corridor. So this is not this will be what we wish, but this is not, unfortunately, the building. But well, in this NbS, we want to create a semi-intensive green roof with shrub vegetation. We would like, and also sustainable urban drainage system. We would like also to install their integrated solar panel system. Okay, this is our ambition. This will depend also on the funding we got. As for the expected benefits, of course, increase biodiversity and improve air quality, heat island effect mitigation, more energy efficiency of the building. Of course, we in Valencia, all the experiences we have in creating community energy groups and experiences are done from a participatory with participatory processes. So we would like to do this in the same way. And at the end, we would like that this building become a climate shelter or climate space of the network of climate shelters that we have in Valencia, particularly the closest climate shelter that there exists currently in the city close to this neighborhood, in fact, is quite far. So there are no climate shelters currently in this area. So this will be very necessary and very good for the community. Our target population, we can distinguish between the direct population, target population, that will be the users of the municipal social services center, that, as you can imagine, will be older adults, low-income families, disabled people, so all these migrants, all these kind of more vulnerable populations. And of course, thinking on the part of the climate shelter and the use and the effects on the environment, on the surroundings of the building, so indirectly the whole community in the neighborhood and also the rest of the city would also benefit. And of course, this will serve to us to set replicability to other municipal buildings to do the same. Okay, this is currently, this is the building where we want to act. You see the no shadow at all, as you can see. I mean, I'm not sure if I can do, I will try to go through the area so you can see, okay, look, these are, so we want to act there and on the one of the walls, okay. Also, we would like to act on here on this play garden, okay. And as for the street is down there, okay. So I'm not sure now how to
That's okay.
come back.
I think we see it. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to go to your next slide, I think that's okay.
Okay.
We understand
Yes.
the area.
Okay, so I was finding out, and you see that these are the emissions and the efficiency, energy efficiency of the building. Okay, this which is not very good. Okay, D and C the most, and this is our estimated cost for the intervention. This should be updated, okay, because this is from 2 years ago, I think. But more or less, this says in the amount of money we would, without the photovoltaic installation, it could be around 100,000 euros, and with the installation, to 117,000 more euros more, and then you have to add the IVA, and so that's it.
Thank you, Elena.
And I have to say I'm not an expert on NbS, okay? Sorry for everything, for all the mistakes and everything, okay? My expertise is on health. So
it was great. It was super great.
My colleague is on holiday.
We're so glad you're here. And yeah, I thought it was a really good presentation. The building, as you mentioned, could be dramatically improved in many areas with these NbS interventions. So we'll open it up to our panel. We have 6 minutes max to give our expert feedback. Maciej, please.
I just have one quick comment. Installing photovoltaic panels on the roofs are a very popular thing at the moment, but you have to be very careful. It's increased fire hazard. So please be very close with your current insurer how it should be designed and installed. So it has to be consulted with the insurance on the project phase. So please do not surprise insurer with the information and suddenly on your building on the roof you have a solar panels. It has to be really harmonized with insurer during the investment process to avoid any surprises.
Perfect, thanks a lot. This is something that we never think in the project, so very welcome, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Delphina?
Yes, I just wanted to say in this particular case, you probably would be able to attract a more diverse variety of funders, and you've started to assess the potential co-benefits and list them. So it opens up possibilities in terms of funding with a mix of fund. And again, it's not only public grants that may be looked at, but it could be private donors as well, foundations, obviously, but also there could be some city-led type of envelopes, specific envelopes for this kind of thing. And obviously, the moment you have some revenue streams, we could start thinking about layers of funding, including potentially commercial investors, to be seen, depending on how it's structured.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, in fact, about the sources of funding, We want to try to get funding from European Union, from European Commission for an Horizon Europe project, but if not, we will look for another source. And I'm sure that also the City Council will be interested in investing part of it, at least part of it. So thanks a lot. We have experiences, for instance, Las Naves building where I work, we some like 3 years ago, something like that, we have photovoltaic panels in our roofs and for self-consumption, and what is not used, it comes back to the system, okay? And it was funded by, it was 50% funded by the municipality, city council, but the rest was with own people. I mean, each person could invest a maximum of 2,000 euros or 5,000 euros, something like that. It was okay, socialized planta, sorry, socialized planta photovoltaica. I don't know the word in English.
Like we get it. Yeah, like everyone can invest in. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yes. So it was like that.
Great,
could be another
cool.
solution, that one.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we have community energy community, comunidades energéticas in several districts of the city as well, with neighbors investing in that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Heather?
I'm not sure if the sort of picking up on Delphine's points, Elena, I'm not sure if the cost numbers that you put up were net costs, but given that 3 of the 4 things that you were looking at in your first slide would all have an associated cost saving with them to either make the building easier to cool or to generate electricity for the building's consumption. Yeah. That may not generate revenue directly, but it does reduce cost. And once you have some sort of a cost saving, you have a contra revenue that you can then sort of work with to some of the structures that Delphine was talking about. So it might be worth considering presentationally if you think about how to incorporate that into your cost projections, and what that looks like and what the economics of the net look like. Because that is where you start to open up not even socialized financing, which is obviously an interesting way to tackle this, but some of the private capital or maybe a blended finance solution that Delphine was referring to. So that might be a way of trying to tell the story a bit more coherently or more fully, if you will. Thanks.
Okay, thanks a lot. It's true. These are the numbers for the infrastructure, just for the infrastructure. We have not bear in mind the potential benefits on more energy efficiency and so on. Thank you.
Just a quick one, very small one, because I can't raise my hand.
Sorry,
so I will do that. No worries. Did you by any chance think about going full scale in terms of, I mean, not piloting, but just replication? And the other suggestion would be maybe have a look on the ERDF availabilities, if that might suit you, the project as well, or maybe apart from the Horizon availabilities, maybe some urban innovative actions via the DigiRegio, maybe something in that area, because I think these actions support experimental urban intervention. So just as ideas, and you were talking about climate adaptation plan. So I think replicability would be the next step.
Yes. Replicability will be the next step. Yes, if we manage to implement it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And we'll take Svenja as our final comment on Valencia, and then we will move to Paris. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I think, you know, as we've just established, I think your approach opens up really a lot of potential. funding opportunities. So I think, that is great. I guess what I would see from other experiences is it really helps, to sort of almost map out like for which of these benefits you feel confident that you can come up with numbers easily, and for some you have. And then you have to be pragmatic in terms of who you approach, who will need what. And I think, that's often, it's almost like a game you play here, I think. And you can then adjust, because I think you can create your narrative and you can approach very different funders with this. So that's one thing. And then I think the scale question, because, it's this, people who look at this will say, oh yeah, of course, this makes sense. Why are you not doing this, more broadly across different, and is there the potential point to just scale it up? So yeah, anyway.
Yes. Yes,
Right.
I mean, we have done this in one school, but not the green garden, not the green roofs, the photovoltaic panels. And yeah, but altogether, no, that's true. We have done separate interventions for the energy efficiency part, just for and for renaturalization of schools and so on. But this is true, not together. This will be innovative in that way. Thank you.
Yeah. Great feedback. Thank you. And thank you so much for presenting. And to finish up, we have Celeste from Paris.
Well, hi to everybody. Do you know this feeling when you're the last in the class and you've you don't feel like you're going to fit in completely? So
don't worry, don't rush, do your best.
Can you see the presentation would be the first thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, well, nice to meet you. My name is Celeste. I work for the Green Spaces and Environment Department of the City of Paris, more precisely for an agency of urban ecology. When Kelly approached me maybe a week ago, something like that, to say, would you want to pitch here? I thought, fantastic. Then I went to see my colleagues and we thought, okay, let's pitch the idea that we have, where we have no numbers, no nothing, just to get their mind on just to pick their brains. So you may have heard that the water quality has dramatically improved in Paris over the last 30 years. That was due to major investment, including from the EIB in wastewater infrastructure and stormwater management, which eventually made swimming possible again the moment it stops raining. And that was a major milestone that was reached for the 2024 Olympics. And for us as the city of Paris, it was really also a tool to try to reconnect citizens to the river through this leisure and public activation policy. So today what we are thinking is, let's go further and maybe let's focus on the Seine. For now, a highly engineered urban environment, and try to green its banks. That's the main idea. For now, the Seine remains a heavily modified ecosystem because we have mostly artificial riverbanks and riverbed structures. It is continuing to be a navigation infrastructure. We do have dams. There are many man-made barriers disrupting the longitudinal but also lateral ecological continuity. About 85% of the banks are made of impermeable artificial mineral surfaces, and we have, as of now, kind of very low levels of vegetation, around 7% of surfaces on the Seine within the Paris territory. Yeah? Obviously, the Seine is much, much longer. We have, as of now, no wetland habitats and almost no shrub layer, and therefore limited ecological values. Nonetheless, we have seen a significant improvement in the quality of the water, as I was telling you, and therefore encouraging signs of return of biodiversity. The Seine supports now a wide range of species, algae, crustaceans, fish, etc., and has shown definite signs of improvement. For example, in the 1970s, we could only find 3 fish species left in the Seine, and now it's back to around 30, depending on the years. So all of these factors, we decided make the Seine banks a strategic space to reconnect the city with nature, to remove asphalts, and to make room for greening. Obviously counting also on the flood mitigation and natural cooling benefits. What could it look like? Those are pictures of the Seine, but further away, except the third one, which is in another city of France called Lyon. It could be the creation of natural riverbanks habitats, so reed beds, wetlands, sloped shores, installing floating gardens, deploying green rafts. We do have some in the canals, but we don't have them in the river as of now. There are many, many different options, and they would have for consequence, to improve the ecological continuity for fish, for amphibians. They would make for let's say, an essential stopover for and breeding grounds as well for migratory and resident birds. And they would have a ripple effect, both in fact, but also symbolically, on the entire Seine urban ecosystem. So for us, it would be a high impact, multi-benefit, and collective investment. There are many, many, many challenges to this project, mainly that almost the entirety of the Seine banks are classified as heritage, making it a really intense discussion to have with the national architects and the metropolis and the ports and the Voies Navigables de France, which is the organization handling the Seine and the freight, let's say. But we do think it's a necessary next step to continue to build this Paris as a garden city. It goes within the objective of the Paris Climate Plan and the biodiversity strategy. It also delivers on the COP15 targets and, well, the European Green Deal. But it would be like it would be the next highly symbolic move to reconnect our citizens to their environment. And it would have a huge impact in terms of replicability outside of the city bounds, obviously because the Seine is much, much larger and cuts through many cities on its way to the ocean. I want to be super, super quick because my main question today was a bit different from my colleagues, I think, because it's just the beginning of the project. We are interested in every single one of your organizations and for you to tell me in which direction, which program, which specific funds should we be looking at for the financing of such an NbS project. Yeah, that is my main question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Celeste. I'm sorry that we didn't leave you as much time as you deserve.
It's okay.
But yeah, open it up to our panelists. We'll go Delphina, then we'll go to you, Anna Maria. Okay?
Sure. Anna Maria, I'll probably let you speak about some EU structural funds that are already existing, but there is also some work in preparation on the Meet for Adapt and some more work we are doing within the Capital Hub and the EU Mission Adaptation work with the idea of developing a number of things. I really like the idea that you're looking at riverbank biodiversity, obviously, hopefully not to repopulate with giant macro sharks. That's a French pun for those who have seen the movie. Basically, again, it's always the same thing. Do you have the ability to generate a revenue structure that could demonstrate some co-benefits? If not, are we in a pure grant type of approach? But still, can we show the benefit for the environment and what could be done with it? And then when we think grants, there are not only public funds. that's I guess the main message I'd like to pass on. You also have some private ones, and there is some money. And if you start talking about biodiversity, potential water, riverbanks, and opening to the ocean, it kind of open up as well the type of foundation who could be interested to work you with. You also mentioned working with heritage building. That could be something to think about as well, but it would require a little bit of discussion.
Yeah, thank you. To answer super quickly, both are studied at the same time. We are more geared towards strict grants because it's a lot of, let's say, just the governance of the SEN is so many different stakeholders. So that would be a little bit easier in terms of management, also after the delivery of the project. But I would be super interested to know, maybe more specifically, but maybe later on, the types of foundations that we could reach out to. That's of great help. Thank you so much.
Thanks. We can help facilitate that for sure.
Super.
Great. Ana Maria?
Yeah, well, I think here we complement very well because I mean it's the city's missions and also yeah, in terms of grants, I think there might be the case of ERDF there in the OP, probably on the topic of, I don't know, green infrastructure, climate adaptation, flood resilience stuff, and aspects, but also I think it might be appropriate just looking for the maybe InvestEU, the sustainable infrastructure window, might be also the case for having some blended finance for this initiative. But I was a bit curious on the strategic framing of this project. Is it part of already of the climate plan, or?
Yes. It was adopted in the new biodiversity strategy for 2025 to 2030, and it's a specific objective that was listed and adopted by City Council. It's quite a symbolic thing as well, because you only have about one part of the river sandbanks that is still more or less vegetated within it's at the end of the Boulogne Woods, so on the western part of the city. The rest is fully mineral. So the question is, we probably cannot touch the actual banks. So it would be building, closely connected to or on the side of, or that's it.
So in terms of the feasibility studies, you're very incipient.
I'm very what, sorry?
In terms of the feasibility studies and the design maturity, it's everything very incipient. It's just a concept now.
Yeah. It's we have some examples, we have some studies, we have some, experiments, but we haven't done it yet on a big scale.
Okay. So, because I was also thinking that it might be the case, like complementary instruments, just think about whether some advisory could be connected within the further steps of development of the project. But I think this can be complemented when you look for the funding sources, because each program fund can come with the technical assistance connected. So and I mean it can go easily with the InvestEU advisory hub or the other initiatives of the Commission in terms of advisory services. So we can brainstorm here, but I think we would brainstorm it together also with the BWB, right?
Happy to.
That sounds like
Thank
a
you
really
so
good
much.
next step. It is 3:31, folks. I can't believe how fast our time has gone together. I was really hoping for 10 minutes to have some final wisdom from our panel, but we don't have it. So what I will do is send out a really detailed recap to everyone, make sure we put everyone in touch to make sure we can continue these conversations. We really hope to hold something similar to this again. I think it was really valuable. Lessons learned, we have to be mindful of the time and to make it meaningful for everyone. So I hope everyone had a great time. I certainly did. I'm so grateful for all of you for being here, and look out for next steps from me. So thank you so much. Enjoy your day and hope to see you all soon.
Thanks a
Thank you.
lot.
Bye.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.